You're watching To The Point with me, Nabila Jamal. In a shocking incident, a social media app listed Muslim women for auction. Yes, photographs of hundreds of Muslim women were uploaded on this app called Bulli Bai. Netizens, politicians have expressed their outrage over this incident. Here's a detailed report into what exactly happened.
Targeted harassment of Muslim women. A shameful incident with deep communal overtones. A social media app called Bulli Bai listed Muslim women for what it called an auction. The perpetrators stole several photos of prominent women from their social media accounts only to doctor and upload them, sparking outrage. The incident came to light when a woman journalist alleged that she's being targeted by an unidentified group on an app called Bulli Bai.
पिछली बार भी एफआईआर दर्ज हुई थी। महिला आयोग जो है उसने इस बात का संज्ञान लिया था। पिछली बार भी यही सब चीज़ें हुई थी। पार्लियामेंट में मुद्दा उठा था, होम मिनिस्टर को लेटर्स लिखे गए थे, मगर उसके बावजूद कोई गिरफ्तारी नहीं हुई। और यही वजह है कि ये मामला दोबारा हमारे सामने इस तरह आया है। उस तरह से ये एक चैलेंज भी है स्टेट अथॉरिटीज़ के लिए, उन क्रिमिनल्स की तरफ से जो ये कह रहे हैं बार बार कि हम ये चीज़ें करते रहेंगे और आप हमारा जो है कुछ नहीं बिगाड़ पाएंगे।
Netizens followed suit to call out the app on social media platforms. Several opposition leaders condemned the incident and demanded action. AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi and Sena MP Priyanka Chaturvedi lashed out at the IT ministry, alleging inaction.
मैंने आईटी मिनिस्टर को फिर से रिक्वेस्ट की है कि आप जब तक ऐसे लोगों को जो महिलाओं को इस तरीके से उनके बारे में बात करते हैं, टिप्पणियां करते हैं, उन पे कार्रवाई नहीं करेंगे तो ऐसी घटनाएं वापस होती रहेंगी। कुछ महिलाएं जो टारगेट हुई हैं वो मुंबई से होती हैं, तो मैंने मुंबई पुलिस कमिश्नर को भी इस बारे में कहा है। मुंबई पुलिस विल बी इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग इट।
एमएचए में जो काउंटर रेडिकलाइजेशन सेल है वो हरकत में आए। काउंटर रेडिकलाइजेशन सेल तो सिर्फ मुसलमानों के लिए इस्तेमाल होता, इनके लिए इस्तेमाल करें। आखिर कौन है ये लोग जितने रेडिकलाइज होकर देश के महिलाओं को, देश के बच्चियों को उनकी तस्वीर डालकर इस तरह से उनसे बर्ताव कर रहे हैं।
The Gandhis too attacked Prime Minister Modi in a tweet, calling out the communal hatred spewing in the country.
I stand by the victims of this heinous crime. We want justice for them. We want this outrageous menace to end. The culprits must be named and shamed.
Union Information Technology Minister Ashwini Vaishnav responded, saying GitHub had blocked the portal and that the Indian Computer Emergency Response Team and the police are coordinating further action. Condemning the incident, Minority Affairs Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi said the detailed probe is underway to trace the culprits.
सरकार ने संवेदनशीलता के साथ, सख्ती के साथ जो इस तरह की साइट थी उसको बिना समय गंवाए 10 मिनट के अंदर ब्लॉक किया। जैसी जानकारी आई, जो लोग हैं उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई शुरू हो गई है और निश्चित तौर से इस तरह के जो साइबर साजिश का सिंडिकेट है उसके मास्टरमाइंड का भी पता लगेगा, उसके पीछे की मानसिकता और मकसद का भी पता लगेगा।
Meanwhile, the Delhi police wrote to Twitter seeking details of the user who first posted the content. They also directed the microblogging site to remove all related tweets. This is the second time that such an app has been created. In July last year, an app called Deals had similarly posted hundreds of images of Muslim women for online auction. With Arvind Oja, Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, what we see here is absolutely shocking, and what's all the more glaring here is the indifference shown by politicians as well as the police alike. I have with me the victims themselves, Hasiba Amin, who is also the National Convener, Social Media of Congress, joining us. We also have Vikram Singh, former DGP UP. I'm going to have a few more voices, victims who faced the wrath on this portal where they had lewd comments posted and also an attempt to auction these women whose photographs were up there. Hasiba, you were one of them. How did you get to know? For those uninitiated, take us through exactly how you got to know. How did you find out that your image was up there on that app called, I don't even want to name it. Take us through exactly what has happened.
So on the 1st of January, I was spending the first half of my day with my friends, and I was just away from my phone for some time. Around late in the afternoon, when I looked at my phone, I saw that I had a huge number of messages of people informing me that my picture had featured on so-and-so app, and this is what has been going on. When I went on Twitter, I saw that there were some Twitter handles also which had posted my photo. It came as a shock to me, but at that moment as a shock to me, but it wasn't very surprising because it wasn't the first time that this was happening with me. It was extremely triggering. My first reaction was to, of course, outrage on social media because I started talking about it, and a lot of people did show solidarity, but yeah, that's how it came to my knowledge.
No, but it's still very surprising. This app is being promoted on social media platforms like Twitter. Basically, those people, the makers of the app, who've rolled out this app on GitHub, which is a tech platform where the tech community come together to share ideas. One can only imagine an educated lot, those who know coding, who understand technology so well. They're the ones who've come up with an app like this so heinous. It's a crime that cannot be spared or pardoned. If politicians were at the receiving end, Mr. Vikram, they would have quickly tracked them down, got them nabbed as early as in 24 hours. Here it's taken close to a year. Sulli Deal was a similar app that came out just a few months ago. Complaints were raised. Another app that was struck down. This is another app that's come up, but yet a year later, no action at all. FIRs filed in different states. Not a single police department of any state has gone further than just take the complaint and leave it at that.
Absolutely. Had it happened to them, you would have seen a different scenario altogether. The maniac and the perverse monsters behind them need to be brought to book immediately. You have very rightly mentioned that there are digital footprints available to a skillful investigator. The IP address agreed that they may have used a virtual private network also. But for the skillful investigator and the robust policing, announce the reward of 10 lakhs on the perpetrators, and lo and behold, I can guarantee they'll be behind bars in 24 hours. You have to be absolutely merciless, be a half butcher and half human. You will forgive me for using strong words, but this is the least I can do. I would appeal to the police leadership to come down like a ton of bricks on all of them, so that this repeat performance, this seem to be serial offenders, they seem to be having some sense of being condoned, and that is why they do not know the harshness of the law. Come down, be absolutely merciless toward them, invoke the provisions of the Makoka and the NSA, ensure for them the run for their money, put them behind bars, all their accessories and all those who have aided and abetted them, those who have appreciated, though have been instrumental in the sale and purchase of this app, also need to be booked and accounted for, so that a no-nonsense message goes very clear that those who are even touching this app with a barge pole will not be spared by the police. And
we're really hoping that your voice echoes with the administration, because it's been close to a year. Back in July was when a formal complaint was filed by the Delhi Commissioner of Women. They even summoned for the Delhi police and the cyber cell. They've done this again now, 6 months later, but women out there who've been targeted, Muslim women whose photographs were morphed, doctored and put up with lewd comments pasted there, being auctioned off for 1 rupee, 2 rupees. I can't even imagine the psyche behind this app. What is the purpose of this app at all? Hana Mohsin as well, who's a commercial pilot, a woman who's fought for her freedom. I can only imagine. And I can speak for all those women out there who've been targeted for the kind of collateral damage that this has done to them. They've not just fought their way through to come out, to be educated, to get a job, work shoulder to shoulder with men in their professional spaces. This is almost targeting every single woman who struggled for their freedom in the years in India, especially those coming from Muslim families. I'm sure it's the same story with you, Hana. You may have struggled your way through to be where you are. And today, seeing a picture of yourself morphed and doctored and filing a complaint, yet no action, how do you feel?
Absolutely. As you just said, that, we as Indian women and further as Indian Muslim women, we are fighting so many battles all the time. We fight battles from the time we are growing up. From the minute that we turn 15 or 14, we are fighting. We are fighting constantly. We are told what to wear, what not to wear. We are censored. We are, we are targeted in every possible way. And yet we somehow survive all of that. We remain compassionate human beings, and we become who we are. and we excel in what we do. And here I am looking at, I was shocked when the first time I saw my photograph on Sulli apps, when I saw my picture coming out as Sulli as the day, as if I'm a flavor of the day. That is what they are trying to reduce. They're trying to reduce me to, which they're unsuccessful. But it's just that there is an endless war that I am fighting. It is insane. And it's disgusting that Muslim women with voices are being targeted. The only reason I have been targeted is because of my Muslim and gender identity. I am not a political account. I don't talk politics. I have nothing to do with politics, but I am a pilot. But I was targeted just because I was a Muslim woman. And it enrages me. And 6 months on, this was on July 4th when I had filed an FIR. And 6 months exactly in the next 2 days, and they still haven't. There's no way that they can't apprehend these people. I cannot believe it that the country like India cannot apprehend simple people who have maybe yes sophisticated ways they have made their apps, but I can't believe that they can't be apprehended. I just refuse to believe that.
Well. Sir, if you can jump in on this, is this crime so sophisticated that the police was not able to crack it a year later as well? Or is it just a lack of intent? Because like I did mention, and like the opposition parties have been accusing, while the government faced heat from Twitter and Facebook, they were so quick to summon them, the CEOs all the way from abroad. They had to be part of a panel, a scrutiny, and all of it was set right in no time. Here, Indian Muslim women in large numbers are being targeted, multiple FIRs filed in many states, but yet not a word that's come out from any politician until there was an outrage on social media.
May I submit that I have never felt helpless in my life ever. Where there is a will, there is a way. You very rightly mentioned, summon the top leadership who have a presence in India. You have registered cases under 153A, 295A, 354D, 509, 500 and 67 of the IT Act, but this is just cosmetics. Announce a cash reward of 10 lakhs and lo and behold, their brother-in-law and their close relation will hand them over to the police. Announce a cash reward, have robust policing and get after the jugglers. You see, every criminal has an antecedent. Every criminal, especially of this type, has a mind that is wired in a special direction and is get to the perversion. And if you know one pervert, you get to the gold mine of all perverts because birds of a feather flock together. It is absolutely, I say it's difficult, not impossible. But where there is a will, there is a way. Get a group of skillful investigators, get the cooperation of all those who have been targeted, and lady investigators. I can guarantee that you can get to the bottom of the scandal in the next 15 days.
Well, you're promising this, being a former cop, a former DGP of Uttar Pradesh, I can only imagine then there clearly seems to be a lack of intent. And I'd say that explicitly because there are multiple FIRs being filed and yet there's not been any kind of cooperation from a different state police. Hasiba, I mean, do you see a larger conspiracy to this? What do you think is the reason for an app like this to come up which targets Muslim women in India, particularly forward-thinking, vocal women?
Here is a political will. The government doesn't want to do anything about it, which is why the police doesn't have enough pressure to act on it. The reason all of this is happening repeatedly is because they are enjoying absolute impunity from the government. The reason they are doing all of this is, so if you see all the women who have been targeted, they are vocal Muslim women. They are women who have been speaking up against injustices. They have been speaking up against, say, unconstitutional policies or laws which have been coming up in this country. They are the women who are being targeted. The objective of these guys is to harass us into silence. They want us to stop talking and stop speaking up against the government. I say that there is a lack of political will also because you see what's happening. There are open calls for genocide happening in this country. Just today, another statement, a very deplorable statement has come out against Muslim women. There is so much of all of this happening and no action is being taken. And it's not just today. This has been happening since a very long time now. We keep talking about these two incidents of Sulli Deal's app and the Bulli Bai app. This actually started with a YouTube live video which had taken place. The YouTube live had a PayPal account linked to it. There are many ways to trace it down. It's a very convenient thing for the government or the police to also say that, oh, we are looking into it.
Undoubtedly, if there is an intent, there's India, in fact, is as the tech hub. If anything, our cyber cell could have tracked it down if not for anyone else. It's not so difficult, and these are educated people who may be coming up with this, those who know coding very well, who understand how to make and develop an app. So it's seriously shocking to know that GitHub, this is an open source platform, has put up rolled out an app like this, and yet there's been no response or responsibility, no accountability. Sadaf Jafar, also one of the victims there, who's joining us on the panel. Sadaf, I'd like you to answer this. How did you explain yourself to your family when this incident broke out? What kind of advice did your family give you right after this?
See, the family is well aware what we are dealing with right now. So it's not about me having to explain to my family or my family giving me, advice. We were looking forward to some kind of, something that the government would speak up. There has been a complete silence on behalf of the government, various organizations and bodies, which are meant to safeguard the rights of the government. We were more keen on listening on to something from them. But of course, this silence is also it is very understandable, very unnerving, but understandable, because these people are well aware they have impunity from the government. Nobody's going to come after them, and hence they will keep blocking their accounts, and they will keep coming back like mushrooms, one after the other, humiliating and dehumanizing Muslim women the way they have done before. Before this,
you are one of those fortunate who have families who back you entirely. If this happened to a regular Muslim girl, I'm telling you, they would have been forced to pull down their social media accounts, forced to stop stepping out, forced to stop working with male colleagues, get back to wearing a hijab. That's going to be the repercussion, I think, to most of them who've been put up on that portal. If they have to tell their families that this is what has happened, I can only imagine the mayhem that will go down in their homes.
No, that is a fact. But the thing is that some of us had to speak up who could. If we are privileged, then, this privilege comes with at a cost, and we need to,
undoubtedly. And look at the cost. Women. Mostly forward women who are vocal, who have social media platforms, who have public social media platforms. Those are the women who have been picked on, selected, handpicked, and put up on this portal called Bulli Bai. Sulli deal did not work. That they've given a spin to Sulli deal, come up with Bulli Bai, and yet they seem quite unnerved. So brazenly they've put out content, and absolutely similar to what Sulli deal had on it. Exactly. Because there was no crackdown on that, here came another app with more women and more popular women.
If no step is taken, believe me that it's going to repeat again.
83 among the 83 women.
Yeah,
many of the women have disappeared from social media completely. There were just 20 of us that got together the first time, and amongst them, maybe around 11, 12 of us have filed the FIR. The rest of them could not because their parents did not allow them to.
Absolutely.
And around 83 out of around 60 women have disappeared. We don't even know where they are, who they are. Have they been censored? Have they been silenced? So you are absolutely right that the cost, this is insane. That's what's happening. Those women are already fighting so many battles, and now we're giving them additional baggage to go and take home. Now you can't be online. You don't have a voice.
Probably this is the reason why, Hasiba, I feel that, it brings us more, it makes us more responsible for speaking on their behalf as well. You
are doing the responsible thing of coming out to speak up, but here the question, like you rightly said, let's rise above politics here. It's about women's safety and security. It's not just about women, it's a human rights violation. Like
Yes.
I did say time and again, it's not just targeting your modesty, but this is also crippling your attempt to freedom. Muslim women in India already fighting as many battles, and here is an app that is targeting, handpicking those women who are fighting for their freedom, coming out to work, to be more vocal. The other women who are targeted, their pictures morphed and put up on these portals, but yet no action. We're hoping that what our former DGP Vikram Singh had to say reckons with our authorities. Thank you very much for watching.